Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. Every single week when we shoot, I get so excited because I come back to my family, my TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, family, my podcast, Spotify, everything family. Guys, if you love my content, please, and I beg this, tap the screen. Let's get people involved and engaged. Today's topic, guys, somebody's gonna get offended. Somebody's gonna get mad, but I have to say it as I always say it, I don't give a damn. Damn. Today's topic is about the chase. And I'm gonna tell you something funny. I've noticed, and the reason why I'm talking about this topic today is because I realize that there are a lot of people who chase a lot. And what I mean by chase a lot, they always go after women more so than their actual best version of themselves. I'm gonna go on record and say this. The men that have a lot of women, ladies, don't be mad. That is an extreme insecure man. And not only insecure, that man hasn't found purpose. Because 9 out of 10 times, if a man is running behind you, there is no way he's building any empire with his own self or his life. And I'm going to go on record and say that. When a man is pursuing their greater self, I hate to say this, but honestly, they'll have less time to worry about you. I said this many times. I would never stop my race to drag a dead body or a woman to a finish line. Because at the end of the day, the woman benefits from the man being the best version of self anyway. When you look at a woman, right, and you see that the extreme necessity of a woman is economics, a man that's avoiding his economical situation could never be a man. 9 out of 10 times when you see a man who's not pursuing economics, they usually living off of someone else to complement their lazy behind. So look at the narrative. When you see a man who's comfortable being lazy, chances are his mom, his dad, his girlfriend, someone is paying for them. The other day, I put a video up and said, a woman is designed to challenge a man. The man said, a woman is not made to challenge a woman. I said, the challenge of a woman is by her requirements, meaning her standards of being in a relationship is a challenge. But the men that don't go after women who challenge that aspect will never be greater. Look at the narrative. Challenging by a woman is when you are literally dating a woman who have higher standards. Let me say that one more time. If you have a woman who has higher standards, a real man will embrace that challenge, right? He's not gonna talk her down her standards. He's gonna raise his standards, and ultimately, they're gonna benefit from the fact that both of them feel greater. I'm gonna say this, a very underaccomplished man or unaccomplished man will never be happy. He will be the most toxic man there is, right? A man that is not in the best version or chasing the best version of himself will always be the most unhealthiest version of person to be around. Unhealthy. Because naturally, a man that is not happy becomes a very toxic man. Especially when it comes to himself. Either A, he will self-sabotage furthering his life, or B, find things to make him feel better about his insecurities. He will date a woman who accepts him being lazy because of the fact that A, he don't want to look in the mirror at himself. So he'll say something like, my family, my life, my this, but he won't see the decisions that he's making or hold himself accountable to the actions that he's making. This is the new generation of men. There's always an exception to the reasoning why you are what you are. But it's never your decisions that you ever look at. You'll be able to look at every other mirror, but except the reflection of self. You can look at everybody else's mirror. You can point the finger at him, her, but you can't look at yourself and say, yeah, I'm bugging. It's the chase. It's the chase. These men are literally chasing women. Yo, it is so scary, right? Me personally, as a man, I'm gonna go into something real fast. There is no woman that will literally get in the way of me chasing where I have to get to, no matter what. If a woman is gonna tell me, hey, if you don't spend time with me, it's over, guess what? Then it's over. Hey, if you're not doing XYZ, then it's over. I'm comfortable with that because of the fact that in order to be in a healthy relationship with a girl or a mate, you have to be in a healthy relationship with yourself. Let me say that again. In order to be in any healthy relationship, you have to be in a healthy relationship with yourself. You cannot love someone more than you love yourself. If you love someone more than you love yourself, then I'm going to be honest with you. You never loved yourself. A person could never make me feel secure, more secure than I feel about myself. If I don't feel like I'm going to protect myself more than someone else will, then what am I saying to myself? Self-love is the ultimate value of love. I look at a lot of men these days, and to overcompensate for their lack of, they chase to make themselves feel like they have a lack of more. They're insecure. It is scary when you meet a man who suffers from mommy issues. It is scary when you meet a man who suffers from abandonment issues. And you sit back and evaluate these terms. I want these terms brought up. Abandonment issues and also mommy issues. I want to tell you the terms of what these things are so more men can be aware of their decision making. You could never, ever become the best version of self until you learn to look in the mirror at the ugliest version of yourself. I remember going through becoming the best version of Q. I had to look at the ugliest versions of Q. Imagine looking in the mirror, right, at someone you're so unattracted to. And the person that's reflecting in the mirror is yourself. You see the ugliest version of yourself before you see the greatest version of yourself. The ugliest version. You have to be able to face that version. See, a lot of these men nowadays, they're avoiding themselves. So what you know what they do? They look for a woman who's insecure herself, right? And literally date it. And then they wonder why they're not getting to levels. Because chances are you're going to date someone who's only going to complain when they're mad. I never want to be with someone who only complains when they're mad. I would want to be with someone when we're on good terms, say, yo, Q, we need to talk. I don't like the fact that you're not doing anything with your life. I don't like the fact that you're not moving forward. I don't like the fact that there's no progression. But if you date someone that only talks bad about you when they're upset, that is truly how they feel. But true love is even when things are good, I'm willing to tell you about yourself because I love you. Even when things are good, I'm willing to tell you about yourself because I love you. True love could never see someone not being the best version of self. The best version of self. Abandonment issues are a type of anxiety that causes people to have a strong fear of being abandoned, hurt, or rejected. They can manifestate as emotional or behavioral symptoms such as insecurity or anxiety in a relationship, right? Feelings of worthlessness, right? Difficult trusting others, withdrawing socially, right? Self-disruptive behaviors, wanting to control others, codependent behaviors, or going to the extreme lengths to preserve a relationship. Now, what a man should do is sit here and be honest with himself, or a woman, even if you suffer from this narrative. This anxiety, if you suffer from it, you need to identify the issue and fix it. Because there's no way you'll be great having these issues. It is impossible. It is impossible to be great when you're not realizing that the mind is the gateway to success. The mind. Let me say that again. The mind is the gateway to success. When you notice that the most unsuccessful people, when you speak to them, look at how they speak about themselves. And you don't have to tell me how you feel about yourself. Once I see how you behave with yourself, there's no way I believe you love yourself. It is impossible to love yourself and do the worst things to yourself. A person that tells me they love themselves, why do they give themselves drugs? A person that say they want to be happy, why do you go around miserable people? A person that say they want to change, why you keep doing the wrong things? There is no way you can say you love yourself and you continue to do things that hurt yourself. I had to tell one of the closest friends in my life that I don't think you love the feeling of drugs. I think you love the feeling of escaping. He got mad as hell at me. But guess what? I'm the friend that's gonna tell you the truth whether you like it or not. I refuse to sit in your face every damn day and lie to you, knowing I care about you. But again, this is the issue. We run from the things we need to hear and we go towards the things that we want to hear. Let me say that again. One road, the things I need to hear. Second road, the things I want to hear. Let me guess, which road you think got the most goddamn traffic? The road of people want to hear what they want to hear. And the very limited traffic is the road of people that want hear what they need to hear. Let me say this again. Abandonment issue. Abandonment issues are a type of anxiety that causes people to have a strong fear of being abandoned, hurt, or rejected. They can manifestate as emotional or behavioral symptoms such as, listen to these symptoms: insecurity or anxiety in a relationship, feelings of worthlessness, difficulty trusting others, withdrawing socially, self-disruptive behaviors, wanting to control others, right? Codependency behaviors are going to the extreme to preserve a trash relationship. Listen, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a damn pig. Damn. It's still a damn pig. So we can lie about the truth. That's what that means, right? But the issue will remain. A lot of us are codependent on extreme measures that are limiting us from becoming the greatest version of self. It's the chase. I know men right now who will get into an argument with you, right? And you tell them, yo, bro, I think you need to get more focus on your life. Who are you to tell me that I get more girls than you? Damn. Damn. So your standard of success is measured based on how many women you get, but not measured based on how better you've put your family in a position. I did a video the other day. It was talking about men that don't take care of their children. And it's so sad at how many men really don't take care of their children. There's a term that's going around in 2024. It's called crashing out. You have men that will literally crash out for their mans, but will not crash out for their children. You're willing to do a 24-year bid for your man, but you can't even do an 8-hour shift with your damn children. Damn. You can't even do an 8-hour shift with your children, but you're willing to do 24 years in prison. There's another issue I want to bring up. It's called mommy issues. Mommy issues, right? When you talk about these narratives, a lot of times people don't want to identify the truth, right? Isolation is where you can create a world in yourself and believe whatever the hell you want. You can isolate your mind and believe whatever the hell you want. You can put yourself in a corner mentally, stay in this corner, and anything you allow in this corner has to complement the way you think. This is what people do. This is what we do. It is amazing, right? And I'm going to go on record and say this. I think most men are broke because they're in relationships they can't afford. I think most men are broke because they're in relationships that they can't afford. I'm gonna say that one more time. I genuinely believe most men, I'm not talking about the bum men who lay on their behind all day and don't do nothing. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about the men in the world nowadays. Most of them are broke because they're in relationships that they can't afford. They can't afford it, right? And this is the issue. When you know you're with someone who don't believe in partnership, then you're already in a bad situationship, right? The issue that I have with most men today, it should be naturally okay for you to say, I can't afford this relationship. I'm comfortable enough with myself to say, I can't afford to be with someone. I met women and I went on dates. I didn't get mad at the fact that they told me what they expect from a man. What I decided at that moment was, you're not for me. And it's okay to say that. Man, you can't let your ego get in the way with you moving forward in a relationship. You can't let your ego get in the way. Because if you can't afford a woman, there's nothing wrong with that. Her expectations are unfeasibly reachable for you. My arm's too short to reach that far, sister, and I'm okay with that. What you expect? You want to be out every weekend. You want to be outside, like they say. I don't knock it. I'm just not going to entertain a woman that want to be outside. Right? It's okay. We don't talk about the issues in society that are causing men to chase women so much. There's a term, it's called mommy issues. And next after this one, I want to bring up daddy issues, right? Mommy issues is a term used to describe the psychological problems or difficulties in a relationship that can arise from the person's relationships with their mother as a child. The psychological impact of a mommy issue can last until adulthood. Symptoms. So it is symptoms. Always needing to stay in contact with a woman, right? They always need to stay in contact, right? Never wanting anything to do with your mother, right? Generally being disrespectful towards women. So a lot of you men out there that see that you like to disrespect women so much, it's clearly a representation of insecurities of how you feel with your mommy issues. Generally being disrespectful, right, towards women. Feeling insecure and often suspicious. Suspicious. Always doubting others' love. Ladies, have you ever been with a man that always you gotta keep reassuring him you love him? You love me? You love me? You love me? You love me? Do you love me? That's mommy issues. Having a sense of entitlement. That's a mommy issue, right? Cheating on partners often, repeatedly. These are symptoms of a man with mommy issues. This is why they chase. Because the chase is what complements their insecurities. When you have these conversations, it takes a very conscious mind to be able to live into reality, right? I told a guy the other day, he said to me, I want to give you the symptoms real fast again, mommy issues. Always needing to stay in contact with a woman. They always feel the need to stay in contact with a woman. I have to. I got to get me a girl. I got to be with a relationship. I got to be with a girl. I got to be with a girl. I got to be with a girl. Mommy issues, right? Never wanting anything to do with your own mother. Never wanting anything to do with your own mother. Like, You got issues always with your mother. You always fighting with your mother. Always got problems with your mom, right? Generally being disrespectful towards women. Being disrespectful towards women, right? Let's keep going. Feeling insecure or often suspicious. Insecure, right? Always doubting others' love. I need you to love me. I need you to love me. Love me, please. Love me. Need a hug, right? Having a sense of entitlement. Having a sense of entitlement. You feel entitled, right? Cheating on partners often, repeatedly. So sometimes, ladies, when you hear a man say things like, oh, these men cheat, I just gave you a major reasoning to why so many men cheat. Because they have mommy issues. A lot of men have mommy issues. And nowadays, you have so many women who are raising our boys very, 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 very hyper soft. And then they're getting mad at the results in the society of men. These men don't come from nowhere. These men are procreated to behave such. It is natural that more men will look for a mother when a mother never took the bosom out of her son's mouth. He's still looking for milk. He's still looking for, we're going to start calling him Jody. His name is Jody. And guess what he gonna do? Jody trying to control his mama house with her relationship because Jody still hasn't become the man he's supposed to be. So what Jody do? He pretends to be the man that he's not. That's baby boy, right? That's baby boy. It's a lot of baby boys out here. A lot of baby boys out here. A lot of them. But if you say this, men will get mad. The wisest man is the man that can sit there confidently and hear about himself and not avoid it, but hear it. Because words can be said, but still the ears cannot hear. Words can be said that the ears cannot hear. Things can be seen that the eyes did not see. And then thoughts could be processed that the actions cannot be taken towards. But again, if you say these statements, the issue becomes the one who raised the awareness, not the person who's speaking the truth. I've noticed that a long time ago where I had issues within myself, and I'm comfortable to say it because I don't give a damn because my God already told me he loves me. My God told me he loves me. So there's no human on earth that can make me feel inferior about the ultimate person already told me he loves me. So I don't give a damn what nobody got to think about me. But the truth of the matter is, at one point, I abused my sisters, right? Because I was an insecure brother. I'm not scared to say this. I abused my sisters because I was an insecure brother. I needed women to make me feel stronger about my insecurities. I'm speaking to myself as I'm speaking to my brothers. I'm not ashamed of my truth. Because I'm going to tell you something. I would rather you see me say it from my mouth than society expose me for what I used to do. So when someone says something about Q, you're going to be like, he already told me that. Tell me something else. I'm like rabbit on 8 Mile. I'm going to tell you my laundry list and my bucket list and my skeletons in my closet. So when someone else come along and say it, I don't give a damn because I already said it. I used to cheat crazy because it made me feel better about myself. I used to run behind women and feel the codependency of needing a woman to make me feel strong. I'm him. I'm going to control her. I'll pay the bills. But these are abandonment issues that a lot of us suffer from. Because I'm going to tell you something, and the one thing we have to identify and acknowledge, it's one thing to say that you had a mother, there's another thing to say you had a father. But there's a difference when you can say that the parents loved you the way you wanted to be loved. Because the difference of being loved, right, the right way you want to be loved, then you will ultimately feel loved. The problem is when you have a human who wasn't loved the way they wanted to be loved or needed to be loved, they will never feel loved. Let me say that again for those who don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all do not hear me. If you have a human who can have a mother who have a father. But if the father and the mother never loved you to the magnitude of what you felt you should have been loved or how you needed and wanted to be loved, you will never feel loved. Yes, your mother could have bought you every PS5 video game there is, but the times that you needed her to say I love you, she didn't. The times your dad didn't come to your baseball game when you didn't want anything else but him being there at the damn baseball game, and yet still he wasn't. So guess what? Now you're growing older with issues in your adult years, and if you never speak on these issues, they become traumatic for the rest of your life. There are a ton of people right now who are still held back by their childhood years because they don't want to identify that this is a normal occurrence. And until we start speaking on these issues, we're going to continue to have issues. The issues is not systematic or society, is the fact that we don't want to identify that we all have these same goddamn issues. You got a bunch of people playing hide and seek with their emotions. And the sad part is, I already found mine, so guess what? The game is over for me. Now it's about going on to the next level. You still playing the game because you hiding your emotions. You're not a weak man because of the fact that you feel. You're not a weak sister because of the fact that you feel. You are a strong person who can acknowledge and identify that there's an issue with me and I have to address it. Otherwise, it's going to keep plaguing my future. Most people don't see they lack success because of the fact that their mindset is lacking them success. They don't believe that they can further themselves, so that guess what? They do everything to hurt themselves. Self-sabotaging is the worst sabotaging that you could ever see. Self-sabotaging. That's what you're going to continue to see. People constantly affecting themselves. It's like taking a dirty needle knowing you're going to get AIDS and you're still going to use a dirty needle. It's like brushing your teeth behind someone else's toothbrush. That's what you're doing when you're hurting yourself. You knew that was somebody else's toothbrush before you did it. It's like putting on someone else's underwear that they just wore. That's what you're doing when you're hurting yourself. That's what you're doing. You're hurting yourself. Sometimes we got to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, why am I doing this to myself? Why do I keep choosing these bad mates? Why do I keep running behind people? Why do I feel the need to be accepted more than me accepting myself? Why? 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 We can't sit here and act like everything is not transparently transparent. Right? Everything is not transparently transparent. You got to be able to see the realities of life. You got to be able to see it. Self-sabotaging, guys, is a behavior, refers to intentional actions or action that underdetermines people's progress and prevents them from accomplishing their goals. Self-sabotage occurs when people hinder their own success. While it seems, right, surprising, some people undermine their own good intentions and the long-term goals. There are people that will literally talk themselves out of doing anything great. So we chase. I remember arguing as a kid, and I'm saying it's comfortable. And again, I don't worry about what nobody think about me. I remember I could have $2 in my pocket, a pair of Jordans, and miserable as hell inside, and somebody that's doing better than me, like, yo, you know so-and-so about to graduate college, you know what I say? I get more girls than son though. Because that was a defense mechanism that men use to make themselves feel better about their current state, certain situation. In order to make someone feel better, right, about themselves, they do things that allow them to feel better about themselves. Listen to that again. In order to make someone feel better about themselves, they do things to make themselves feel better about themselves. I'll go into some things that you'll see that people will do to make themselves feel better. When we finish this statement, watch this. Hurt people, right? Misery loves company. Scarred people, scarred people. When you look at these statements, there's a reason why they reign to be truth. We do things because of the fact that that's how we feel. The other day, and I'm not gonna say his name, he got into a crazy argument with his girl. Crazy argument. And I spoke to her. I spoke to him. Let me say this again. I talked to someone the other day, and I listened to the argument between the man and the woman. See, a lot of times I don't like to listen to people's stories unless I have the other person there, because most people tell a story as a victim. They tell a story as a victim. They're not gonna tell what they did to make the actions happen or why the person behaved the way they're not gonna do that. They're gonna tell you to make themselves sound good. Or they're gonna leave out a lot of pieces to make themselves sound like they're innocent. It's just what it is, right? So anyway, after speaking to him, he told me all this laundry list. So I said, do me a favor. He said, what up? I said, let me talk to your girl. No. I said, let me talk to your girl. Anyway, he gives me her phone number. I call her phone. After hearing both sides of the story, I called his phone. I said, we need to talk. He said, what up? I said, you wrong as hell. What you mean I'm wrong? What'd she say to you? I said, in most cases, when a person tells a story and the story sounds too goddamn good to be true, I'm at an age where I hit this point where a story that's too goddamn to be true is usually too goddamn to be true. So when you look at that narrative, I said to him, I said, yo, bro, the way you explain this story, I can honestly say you're full of crap. Only a fool would believe it because of the fact that we're friends, or we're boys, or we're related, right? And that's the issue. I said, I'm at a point right now where you cannot tell me that this story is true. So again, I don't believe you. Yell, scream, kick, punch. I had to go into a whole narrative of spill like this. I said, look, you ever thought for a second that maybe you have mental issues that aren't to the point where you are challenged or anything like that, but to the magnitude of insecurities, abandonment issues, you need control? I said, you ever thought about those things? Now, what makes you say that? I said, every time I try to say something to you, you're defensive as hell. It's showing and it's giving me hurt person. It's not giving me a person that's healed, right? I said, there is a level of deformity that I'm seeing because the wound that I'm seeing in you hasn't healed properly. There's a wound in front of me that I see that has some form of deformity, and you don't even see it. I said, you're very deformed because of the fact that you may believe that you're healed, but you aren't healed. Elaborate. I said, now the levels of security started because I started giving him an escape. Sometimes people are defensive because you corner them. You have to give them a means of escape. You got to say something like, I know you might have dragged it. You know, I understand you're going through something. Now the person feels like, whew, yeah, I ain't gonna front, I did drag it a little bit. Now the conversation starts going a little different. But again, we always feel the need of always having to deflect and defend ourselves all the time, because a level of insecurity comes out when having these conversations, right? Our healing, never all the way healed, a lot of us. So as I gave him this escape, we started talking. And I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the dopest conversations I was able to have with this person brought them to tears. And as a man, and I say this with the ultimate conviction for men and women, sometimes you may need to just cry. Sometimes the releasing of emotions allows the wound to start subsiding. Because we are in a culture where we believe that by acting as if something never happened, never exists, I don't feel this, it never happened, is gonna make the pain go away. But it don't. When that person is isolated in the circumference of their own space, you'll see the real version of how they feel. And it's sad that a person gotta hide how they really feel because of the fact that society says that if you speak on anything remotely against what a man looks like, you are not a man. But a woman or a man can emasculate or take the birthright of a man. The only person that can take the birthright of a man is a man. Yes, there are levels to being a man. Yes, there are levels to being a woman. But when you have these conversations, you got to be able to identify facts. I'm still on my healing journey. And I say that confidently. I'm still on my healing journey. But I'm going to tell you something. When I saw those two roads, I decided to go down the road that's less traveled. I don't want to be in a road that's all the traffic anymore because it looks like the cool thing to do. Because I'm willing to do the uncool thing so I can become the greatest version of Q. I'm willing to do the healthiest thing because I want to be the best version of Q. I remember one time I told a guy, I said, if a guy comes to you or a woman comes to you right now, and I want everybody in my life to hear this, if a guy or a woman comes to you right now and say, yo, I need help. I'm doing drugs. Can you get me into rehab? I'll say, yes, no problem. I will look at that addict at that moment with strength. But when someone comes to you and say mentally, I'm going through something, why do we look at that as weak? Why is that looked at as weak? We talk about a human going through something that they cannot speak on because of the fact that they're going to get looked at as something's wrong with them when these are natural human emotions. As we like to believe that men and women are so farly different, but they're not. They're not. We both have emotions. We both have feelings. But one thing men have learned how to do is act as if they don't exist, because that was a way of dealing with our trauma. You learn how to act like it never happened. And then you wonder why he's yelling at his sister. You wonder why he's yelling at his mother. You wonder why he's yelling at his girl. You wonder why he's hitting women. Because I'm going to tell you something. It don't take you to see a shattered glass to see something is broken. It doesn't take you to see a spilled cup of water to understand that it's wet. Sometimes you got to be able to see things before you see things. There are issues that are showing, right? It's giving off red flags, right? It's giving off hurt person, right? It's giving off my sister needs some love. My sister's on my live right now, and I want you to hear this from a real man. I love you, and I want you to understand that Tyrone, Mike, Steve, or James. And if your name is that on my live, I apologize. But I'm going to just tell you something. That man might have came to hurt you. But I'm going to tell you something. At one point in your life, you were every bit of attracted to that broken man. Because there was something that was broken in you that lured you to that broken man. One thing life don't do is make mistakes when it comes to energy. The laws of attraction is real. You lure what you're attracted to. And the same thing with our men. When you look at our men who are attracted to these broken sisters who hurt them, it's because you are attracted to broken people because you're broken yourself. Again, you don't have to see a shattered glass to know that something is broken. People laugh at people with red flags instead of understanding why they are the red flags. Where did it come from? You ever see two children? And we can identify this, right? Two children, one black, one white. How come the kids don't see color? Let me say that again. You could take two children, they don't see the difference between black and white. But what made that black kid not like that white kid, and what made that white kid not like that black kid? What changed? Clearly, society created this level of prejudice, right, or racism, because we don't grow with these issues. We learn these issues. So when you see that guy, right, that little boy who used to smile all the time, why is he so angry? Because clearly something happened in that life that affected them to the point where they're not allowed to address the issue, because anytime they speak on this issue, it becomes problematic. We don't address the issues. We act like the issues are not there. Ain't no woman can look me in my face right now. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to set me to stand. I don't give a damn. If you date a real man and you say you don't want a man after that, you were never into men. If a man tells me it is learned behavior, he don't need a woman is because he might have been hurt by a woman. Right? We're not born with these issues. We learn these issues. Right? I can identify a lot of issues I had personally growing up. Right? I grew up with these issues. Let me go into this term, daddy issues. And I'm gonna talk about this issue. Right? Everything is learned behavior. Daddy issues is a casual term for psychological challenges that can arise from an abnormal or absent relationship with one's father, especially one who is emotionally unavailable. It is not a medical or clinical term, but is often used to describe women or men who have a difficulty with interpersonal relationships with dating. Men and women have issues with dating based on the fact that daddy issues may arise. Sometimes a woman can't respect a man because of the fact that a man was never in the house. Sometimes a man can never receive a woman because a woman was never in his house. And sometimes the man wants the woman that was in his house because the mother dated him all her life. That definitely went over somebody's head. Sometimes the man is dating a certain type of woman because the woman that he lived with his whole life dated him. So when you look at these men who are looking for mommies, it's because he's looking to redate the woman that raised him. Damn. Y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me. Let me tell you the issues, right? You ever met a man or a woman who's possessively clingy? Right? Possessively clingy, very, very clingy. You ever met a clingy person? Daddy issues. What is a girl who she usually clings to? Her dad, right? Who is a woman's first love? Her dad. So sometimes when you laugh at these women for choosing these bozo men, it's because she's been looking to be loved by a man her whole life. So in the defense of some women, they're not whores. They actually are looking for love. And the sad part about finding love, you have to be sexual with the man to see what he's really there for. Every man puts their best foot forward before sex is involved. Every man put their best foot forward before sex is involved. Because you have to be the most foolish woman on earth if you're giving a man some after he cursed you out and never respected you before you even had sex with him. You got to be a whole damn fool. Let me say it again. You have to be the most foolish woman on earth to give a man sex before he's disrespecting you already, and you haven't even been intimate with him, and you choose to still sleep with him. Damn. Right? You demand an overabundance of love and assurance. You demand it. I need you to love me. I know some of y'all heard that before. Right? This is the truth. We talking truth today. I don't give a damn who gets upset. My job is to raise the awareness of truth. Because in order to fix the culture, we got to identify the issues, what's wrong with the culture. We talk about all these nasty junk. I look on social media and I see somebody twerking, getting more volumes than a person telling you, hey, we need to get therapy. That therapy video should be going goddamn viral. The twerking video, every girl for the most part could twerk. I know girls who ain't got no behind still could twerk. Still could twerk. That is not a specialty skill. Can you read a dictionary? Can you raise or co-parent and raise a healthy child? Can you receive love? Right? Because I'll say this, some people can't receive love. They cannot receive love. There are men who give the version of love to women the way the version of their father gave love to them. Let me say that again. There are men who give love to women the same way the father gave love to them. So if the father was an absentee dad, a lot of times these men have children, and guess what they become? Absentee dads. They repeat the cycle rather than break it. So sometimes you got to look at those things, ladies, and see, look, hold on. Your dad wasn't in his life. His grandfather was in his life. He has to be willing to break that pattern. Because I'm telling you, it is easier to repeat what you've gone through. I don't like to talk about these things, but realistically, this is the truth, right? Let me go into further. You want sex all the time. You want sex all the time. We all know men and women that want sex all the time. Hypersexual. Hypersexual. These are daddy issues we're going through right now, guys. Right? You want sex all the time, right? You're only interested in dating older men or women. Daddy issues. I met a girl the other day, 25 years old, told me she wants somebody 55. I said, damn. You looking for a daddy, my sister. You looking for a daddy. Yeah, you looking for a whole father. Whole daddy, right? Right? You only attracted to older and dated older men. Older men and older women. Sounds like daddy issues. You're afraid of being alone. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. These are issues that grow when a person has daddy issues, right? We got some more guys, right? Right? You repetitively choose to be with abusive men and women. You repeatedly choose to do that. You keep making these same choices. Daddy issues. Well, what happens is in society, look, what's understood don't have to be explained. But what's not understood has to be explained because most people don't understand what I'm saying. So guess what? It has to be explained. So again, they say what's understood don't have to be explained. But in most cases, what I'm saying right now is not understood, so it has to be explained. We don't understand why people behave the way they behave, why they do the things they do, why they so insecure, why they run to the same people. You dated a man that is identical to the same last man you dated. He just got a different birth date and a name. But his mentality is the same damn person. Damn. You dated a woman that you complained about, broke up with this woman and went and got in the same exact relationship with a woman with a different birth date and name. They're twins. Because some of us are attracted to a type. Because we don't, in fact, we don't understand, we don't fix our issues. Right? We don't fix our issues. So what happens is, if you don't fix your issues, all you do is push your issues on other people. Do you understand that? You can push your issues on other people. Most people are heavy on the projection. Heavy on the projections, right? A lot of these men don't understand, right? Their pockets is out of shape because they too busy chasing too many women. Your pockets are out of shape because you're too busy chasing too many women. It's the chase, right? It's the chase. It's like a rush. Ladies, you got to be careful. I don't care if I'm spilling the tea right now. Somebody going to get mad. But there's always the bozos who always want to keep the bad secrets. If a man comes on extremely hot and heavy, extremely, he might be borderline the devil. Because I'm going to tell you something. If a man has all the time in the world for you when y'all first get together, he ain't going to have a lot of time for you when y'all get together. Damn. Let me say that again. Ladies, if you meet a man and everything is hot and heavy in the beginning, and he has a lot of time for you in the beginning, when y'all not together, chances are he is not going to have all the time for you in the world when y'all get together. Most people come with the representative face opposed to the person they truly are. So sometimes you're like, you didn't act like that in the beginning because you didn't know who he was in the beginning. You met the person that was the representative. We've moved so fast past the courting stage that we don't even know who the hell we intimate with. I told you my name was Jamal and Tyrone. You believed it. You ain't even see my goddamn birth certificate or my driver's license. But you sleeping with him. Some people sleep with people that don't even know where the hell they live at. They don't even know where the hell they live at. This is the world we live in. But guess what? Who pushing this narrative? Right? Who's pushing this narrative? I'm going to tell you something. The wealthy don't want us to heal. The wealthy want us to be broke mentally, physically, and emotionally. A person that's broke emotionally can never receive anything great because they're emotionally already broken, right? A person that's broke physically will never surpass a certain level because of the fact that they don't believe they can surpass a certain level. And a person that's broke mentally will always keep procreating or pushing negative thoughts and results because of the fact that their mental is broken. That's the trilogy it sounds like to me. Y'all do not hear me. People always ask me all the time, Q, when you do this podcast, do you write your content? I tell them no. And they say, why? I said, because I speak my heart. They always ask me, do you write your content? I said, no, I speak my heart. I do give key notes that give me facts, right? Because I don't like to just freestyle things and be only an opinionated podcast. We going with facts, right? I've seen men and women literally wake up every single day and choose people and chase behind people who are not even worthy of being chased. Let me say that again. I watch men and women wake up every single day and chase people who aren't worthy of being chased. I ask my ladies and I ask my men this. You've been chasing the wrong people for a long damn time. So I'm asking you this question right now. Your feet don't hurt? Your feet don't hurt from constantly chasing behind the wrong people? Forcing something that is not meant to be? Telling yourself something's gonna change when the person don't even believe he's gonna change because he's not even willing to break $1? You can only get change if you break $1. Y'all hear me? They ain't hear that. They ain't hear that. You can only get change if you break $1. And some people ain't willing to break $1, so guess what? They ain't gonna change. It is beautiful when you see things in people that they may not see in themselves. But it's worse when you see things in people that they don't see in themselves. But you keep telling yourself that you see something good in someone that they don't see in themselves, they're gonna ultimately hurt you until you stop seeing good in your own self. Because I'm gonna tell you something, a broken person will ultimately break the person that stay around them too long. A hurt person will eventually hurt you to the point where you can't even receive any more hurt. Some of us become numb to pain. They don't hear it. We become numb to pain. I'm gonna tell you something. You don't have to be stepped on 1,000 times to realize that you're not loved. Because a person that loves you won't risk losing you. A person that wants you won't jeopardize losing you. A person that respects you won't talk to you any type of way. But sometimes we get so infatuated with the chase. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. There's a good and there's an evil. And this is me being 100% honest. God, and there's a devil. Positive, negative, we agree. Even if you don't call it devil and God, whatever you want to call it, there's a positive and there's a negative. One thing about the negative, it learns your type. And what it does is this, it keeps feeding and funneling your type, because most cases, people that want something different aren't willing to go to new places to get it. They're not willing to do new things to get it, and not willing to go around new people to experience new experiences. Most people are comfortable and complacent with what they've allowed themselves to stay around: people, places, and things. So when you see a person constantly dating the same type of people, it's because they're in the same environments. They go to the same places, they do the same things. So ultimately, they get the same exact people. Same conversation, same everything. We in the club doing the same old two-step. Two-step. We say that we want to change our results. Man, we have to stop chasing. Because I'm going to tell you something. And I say this with conviction. You cannot see a queen sometimes on the battlefield. You got to clear your vision in order to see the queen that's for you. You got to clear your mind so you can see the queen that's for you, my kings. And ladies, you can't see the king on the battlefield. And the reason why you can't see it is because it's too much gun smoke. It's too much negativity. It's too much trauma. It's too much going on. You got to clear your vision so you can see exactly what's for you. Because I'm going to tell you something. In life, I have never met no one who's good at driving using their rearview mirror. Because in life, if you want to go forward, you got to look forward. And you got to be comfortable and know what's in that rearview mirror is meant to be in the past. The rearview mirror is only a reflection of what you've passed. The mirror in front of you, which is your windshield, is a reflection of what's going to be. The coming attraction is in front of you, but some of us are constantly looking at rearview mirror because we want to keep seeing what we want to see. Yes, you might have had a decent relationship in the beginning with Tyrone, but Tyrone been horrible for 13 out of the 24 months. I mean, that man ain't no good, sister. Michelle has been horrible for 13 out of 27 months. She's horrible. You know what happened? You got caught up in the honeymoon stage. You got caught up in the honeymoon stage, my brother. But I'm going to tell you something. The woman or the man that's for us will be for us no matter what. But you keep kissing too many toads, you're bound to get warts. Damn. Just being honest. Ladies and gentlemen, and I say this to my men with conviction. Stop chasing women, right? Stop thinking the ultimate accomplishment is sex, right? I'm gonna tell you something. This is God honest truth. You can master a woman's body, but the ultimate success is when you master a woman's mind. I've been around men who found their queens, and when they speak, they can finish each other's sentence. She knows when he's mad. She understands what he needs, right? And vice versa for him. His queen understands everything also, and he understands everything that's wrong with his queen. You know why? Because he don't have a bunch of people in the village blocking him from seeing his queen. But we'll never get to levels, man, constantly chasing behind women. Because you cannot get mad and say, oh, these women half dressed, these women half naked. Somebody give them attention. Somebody liking their stuff. Somebody commenting on their posts. I'm going to tell you something scary about you, man. I'm going to go on record. I don't give a damn who get mad. It is so scary when you see a girl half naked, right? Let's just say she got 3,000 likes. And let's say 700 comments. These dudes be so thirsty. They'll say, "You need a real queen, a king like me, queen," in their caption. And I be like, oh my God. She got 30,000 comments. Is she gonna see you? I laugh at these dudes. Look, I'm gonna say this again. You take a woman, she's half naked on a post. She get 100,000 likes, 30,000 comments. And you know the funny thing about social media now? And let's use Instagram. It'll tell you who liked it that you know. And not only would it tell you who liked it that you know, it also shows you the comment of your man being thirsty, saying, "A real man like me I can take good care of you." And you look at him like, fam, come on, fam. Come on, fam. Not you too. You eating the cheese, brother. Come on, brother. Let me say that one more time, guys. That is corny as hell. Corny as hell. Ladies, if you see your man and a guy you talking to, go under a post. I want you to get this good. Ladies, if you see your man, go under a post. This post is on fire. And he writes this celebrity or influencer woman, "Baby, you should give me a chance." Run for the hill. That man is beyond thirsty. And water can't quench his thirst. He is thirsty. Parches, understand. He's Sahara Desert. Super dehydrated. That is thirst at the ultimate high. That man is thirsty, ladies. And guys, if you see your woman under Michael B. Jordan's post talking about some, "Hey, hubby," run. Because she is crazy as hell if she believes for a second that Michael B. Jordan saw her goddamn post. That is disgusting. Because you watch Creed and you fell in love with him, of the character that he played in a movie, and now you're like, oh my God, I'm going to comment under his post, "Hey, boo-boo. Hey, big head. You don't miss me?" He don't know you. He don't care to know you. And he won't know you. It's sick. It's sick. And I'm going to be honest, but if I say this, somebody going to get mad. So I'm going to tell you something. Go on a person's post when y'all follow each other, right? I give you that. You might think he fine. That's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But when you on his post, "Hey, big head, I'm the woman you need in your life," you sound crazy as hell. You're the woman he actually don't need in his life because you're the crazy person. I'm going to give you a quick story before we get out of here today. There's a celebrity that's big. You can Google a story and look it up. No Diddy. All right? There's a celebrity that has a huge reputation. And I had to say that, no Diddy. No Diddy. There's a celebrity, right, that has a big platform. He's a singer. So you know what he decided to do, right? He decided to stop singing because he had a big notoriety here. Long story short, decided to stop singing, move to a third world country. His whole reasoning behind moving to this third world country is because he wanted to find a wife. He realized here so many women were so superficial and shallow that they couldn't see beyond the material. But he wanted a woman that loved him for him. So ultimately what he did was he went and worked in a kitchen in a third world country, and he didn't even need the money. He did it because he was looking to meet real people in real time who have a real mindset. Long story short, he met a girl and they shared everything. They ended up getting an apartment together. They shared bills, they shared responsibilities, right? And they literally stayed down, right? All of a sudden, he pretended and told the owner of the restaurant to act like you fired me. And he came home and told his mate, "Hey, they fired me." You know what the lady said, which was the woman he was making his girlfriend at the time, she said, don't worry about it. Whatever I have, you have. And whatever time it takes you to get back on your feet, so be it. He said he walked into his room, cried. The next morning, he told her, I want to bring you back to the US with me. She said, okay, no problem. She came back to the US with him. On the way coming back, he said to her, just be mindful, I'm a celebrity. She was like, what do you mean you're a celebrity? He said, I'm a celebrity. She said, you're not no celebrity. He said, I am a celebrity. He said, I just didn't want to tell you these things because of the fact that I'm a celebrity. The woman he met, she wasn't into social media. She didn't care about celebrities. She didn't care about none of that stuff. Very modest woman who loved herself and was into her God. He brought her back to the States. He started taking bookings. He brought her to a show. She couldn't believe seeing how many women wanted him so bad. But yet and still, in her mind, watch this narrative. She felt like he was the prize even when he didn't have nothing. She felt like he was the prize. And you want to hear something? When he pretended as if he had nothing, he felt like she was the prize. So when you look at this narrative of the fact that they were able to respect and love each other way beyond economics, you fast forward, they're still married to this day with children and having a happy life. Because society never set the standard on what true love is between a person that wants to die and live happy. But so many of us nowadays have created a standard that only society and people with delusional minds and false hopes and beliefs can believe that it's sustainable. So what I'm getting at, guys and ladies, in order to create a healthy situation, we got to begin to fix our own health. Till next time, guys. You got to stop chasing men. So let me say this too. The broke man will always be the man that chase women. Don't let that go over your head.